Well, I mean, teams have been able to get promoted via football itself out of the Highland League since 2015. No more applying to join the Scottish League. They can get there on merit, and since last season, teams have been able to get promoted into the Highland League, which also opened up relegation for teams currently in the division. Guys, first of all, start with you, Joe, as a Buckie Thistle fan. Your team has won the title in recent years, has had a crack at the promotion playoffs, is among the teams that would hope to be contesting for the title this season, certainly were last season, so this is very much a situation that Buckie could find themselves involved in again, potentially the promotion playoffs. What are your thoughts on the pyramid since it's been brought
in? It's definitely added something a bit different in the league. Remember when we last won the league in the 16-17 season, we played East Kilbride. Two really good games. We gave them a good game at Vicky Park, and we drew 2-2. Sadly got beat down the road, but I think the overall feeling in our support at that time was definitely want to give it a go, at least. It's definitely a good thing since it's come in. I think if you ask any of the players, they'll all say yes, they want to progress themselves and the club. They want to be as competitive as they can. Fans-wise, I think most of us will definitely want to give it a go. I'll bring back the Buckie Elgin derby at least, providing they stay up.
Banks of Dee are definitely a good addition to the league. And they've been beating Highland League teams in the Aberdeenshire competitions for years, so they're a deserved entrant to the Highland League and have been trying to get there for a number of years now. So definitely I would push it forward for them. And Cove Rangers, look at Cove Rangers, look at where they've gone since they got promoted. They're in the championship now, so definitely a good thing for them. And I like the relegation as well. I think it's going to make things more competitive down at the bottom, hopefully too. Less said about last season's shambles the better, but hopefully more teams.
We'll get there.
One thing I wanted to say was hopefully more teams are eligible to be promoted to the Highland League, because last season it was only Banks of Dee that could come up, I believe.
As you said, Ryan, it's allowing people a chance to progress through what they're doing on the pitch. Yes, there is requirements in terms of licensing and things, but predominantly it's down to what they do on the pitch.
You're balancing competitiveness with the sort of community and geographical aspects of the Highland League, I suppose. Now, this competition that we have now, and teams from Tier 6 able to get promoted all the way up to the Premiership if they so wish and have the backing and the, on the pitch they manage to achieve that, they can now do so. But what that could mean is you could see teams from Angus, the Dundee area, more teams from Aberdeenshire come into the Highland League, and there are teams in the Highlands who may be the ones that are under threat of dropping out of the Highland League, which was traditionally a league that was maybe a half and half split between the north and northeast of Scotland. Is that a concern?
And you look a bit closer to home for me, like Strathspey, since they've come into the league. I think they've been welcomed with open arms. There's a lot of teams that I really wouldn't want to see drop out.
I'd like to keep a balance. Balance would be good for. It is called the Highland League, so why not have that? The balance of teams. I wouldn't like to see too many Aberdeen junior teams, if you like. It's not an opinion against certain particular sides or anything. It's just I would just prefer it to have people like Joe says, your Wicks and obviously Strathspey, Turriff, Lossiemouth have been doing there. Keith, I certainly wouldn't like to see the likes of them go down. Sides with Keith and Lossiemouth with tremendous histories. But it's not necessarily going to happen, but Strathspey are obviously the obvious ones that are going to be, looks like, in a relegation fight this season.
Maybe this is a chance for North Cali teams to almost redress that criticism that is sometimes aimed at the Highland League, that there aren't enough Highland teams in it. If they now know that if they, to put that backing in, they get themselves, competitive, win the North Cali League, into the playoff, that potentially we could see more of them coming up.
Yeah, it certainly looks at a bit lopsided money-wise towards Dundee and Aberdeenshire, Aberdeen City. But that doesn't mean it can't happen up there. Golspie, you mentioned, there's obviously Fort William will be wanting to come back in. That would be interesting, and why not? I think some people are quite sad to see them go, and they've obviously managed to get a bit of a cult following, if you like, with the TV programmes and just the quirkiness of some of the things that they were doing. I think it just got them a bit of a cult following. So yeah, you can't rule out the north sides, Halkirk, Golspie. There's Inverness sides in there, Inverness Athletic, people like that. So
dare I say Orkney?
Well,
Wouldn't
that would be interesting.
Wouldn't that be
it?
interesting?
Wouldn't it just?
We've just had a Scottish Cup weekend as we record this, and I think we've probably seen over that weekend the continuing recent trend that teams in the likes of the Lowland League, West of Scotland League, East of Scotland League, there's certainly a lot of strength there, and that maybe showed in the results against teams in the Highland League. I think only, was it 6-7 Highland League teams got through to the second round out of the 18. There was a couple of all Highland League ties, of course, but do you think having that promotion playoff there, do you think there's going to be a flood of teams getting promoted out of the Highland League, or do you think that, I mean, we've only had one in seven seasons, so do you think that it'll maybe continue at that kind of pace?
Yeah, as you say, the Scottish Cup results last weekend suggest that, further south, Central Belt in particular, the demographics just allow them to be that much stronger. Yeah, in the short term, it's difficult to see that changing too much when you see some very good Highland League teams getting well beaten by teams who are in theory a tier below them further south. There is some very good teams in the Highland League. No reason to think that the Highland League can't have a spell of dominance in that playoff as well in future years.